Good morning, everyone. I thought I wasn't going to go live today. I thought I was going to leave a recording for you, but as the night or the day progressed yesterday, I realized I wasn't going to get it done. And I actually prefer going live over doing a recording. It's just so much more energizing to have people watching my video live. And I think also one thing when I am doing a recording, I get in my head a lot and I feel like I have to be perfect. And as I'm being perfect, if my beginning of my video doesn't start off well, I'll like stop it and restart it. And it's just so much better to go live because I know this is what it is. You're going to get what I'm at today. And so I'm here. So some of you might be surprised. And I'm happy to have whoever is on here this morning. Today I'm going to make a fun fold card, and it's called a step card. And you've probably seen this card before, but I think what makes fun folds or fancy folds come alive is that I show you how to use it with the products that we have. And I think that makes it more meaningful. Like you could look at a fancy fold card and you go, oh, great, cute. But if you can't adapt it to something that you like, then it's much, much harder. So this is the card we're going to be making today. It's super cute and we all need birthday cards. Okay, so this is the front and let's look at the side. See how many different layers it looks like there are. And the cool thing about this step card, let me turn it to this side, is that it's not hard to make at all. It looks super hard, but it's not. And I used a designer series paper in the backdrop to make things a lot easier for me, and then some stamping in the foreground. Look at these cute little clouds. They just kind of like float there. Those are part of the hot air balloon bundle. This is what we're using today, the hot air balloon bundle and the lighter than air designer series paper. So let me tell you a couple of things about these products. The hot air balloon bundle is carrying over into the new catalog. So that's great. We have it another year, but the bundle pricing is going away. So if you want to buy it as a bundle instead of a separate stamp set and die set and save 10%, you need to do so sooner rather than later. So if the supplies stay in stock, you'll have until the end of April to do so. Sometimes things sell out, so if it drags out onto May and it goes out of stock, then you'll be stuck with buying them separately if you want them. The lighter than air paper, though, is in stock right now, but it is retiring and it matches this bundle. So if you want to get some paper, you would want to do it sooner because they're on the retiring list. So they're while supplies last. As Stampin' Up! Runs out of stock, they are probably not going to bring anything more. And usually they like to sell out of something so they don't have overstocks afterwards. So if you want the matching paper, make sure you get some now. It is really beautiful. And this is it right back here. This is the matching paper and this is stamping. So it's nice to have both available. Very soft colors, perfect for spring. I know we're almost upon Easter, but also it's I feel like these colors make very beautiful Easter cards as well. All right, good to see so many of you here this morning. Maybe some people will catch me that normally work on Friday and have today off. I know when I lived in Canada, Good Friday is actually a statutory holiday, so everyone gets it off unless you're an essential worker. Here in the US, that is not the case. Most people are working today, so it just, I guess it depends where you live, right? So I always get messed up in my mind, like where the holidays are. I've lived in too many places, I think. So my brain's a little, woo. All right, let me just share with you my host code just for, in case you're interested in purchasing any of the products that I talk about today and placing an order in March. then use this host code if your order is under 150. If it's over 150, don't use the host code so you can get your own host rewards. And if your order is over $50 in March, you're going to be getting a package of the adhesive back swirl dots if they are in stock. If they're not, I'm going to have to substitute with something of greater or equal value. So we'll just see what we can get. Always try and find the most interesting embellishment to send to you in the mail as a reward. And these ones really caught my eye, but I'm not sure if they're in stock right now. So we'll see. Next week, I order them all in one big batch. So whenever I go to order them, that's what I see what I can get. So all right, let me pop this away real quick and let me say hello to, I have two Marys here this morning. I always love to see that. And good morning, Birgit from Germany. And she says, Happy Easter to all of you. Hello, Carol from Florida. And Janine from Indiana. And she says it's sunny. It's sunny today. And here it is raining. It has rained for the last day and a half. And I'm about done. I want to walk outside, but the rain just depresses me so much. So I've been walking on the treadmill for a day and a half now. And I can't wait for it to stop. And get this. Ever since we moved here, the rain just lingers. Like on my weather app, it says, oh, rain is starting in like 3 hours and it will start in an hour. The rain is ending at 7 a.m. and now it's pushed back till 11 a.m. So the rain just seems to really linger here. And I don't know, I think it's maybe the sign of times that weather is changing more than just us moving out here. We're just 20 minutes away from where we used to live. But it's just, I'm just like ready for it to be gone. So I said this afternoon, my husband and I were going to go for a walk outside. Without rain, it will be so, so nice. I just can't wait to like breathe fresh air and not get dripped on by this wet stuff out here. All right. Okay. So Janine, your comment made me think, Birgit says she's surprised that I'm live this morning. Yeah, I know. I said it would be a recording. Janine said this is one of her favorite folds. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Ellie. Where the sun might peek through. Yay, good, good. And good morning, Pat. And good morning, Diane. Okay, so let's get started on this video. Now try to remember where I left off. And I'm going to try and read your comments as I go along a little bit more. We'll see how it goes today. This is an easier project than last week, which took forever to finish because it was such a cool project. Remember the birthday in the box. So it did take a little longer. This one will be a little shorter. So we'll see if I can keep up with the comments today. All right. I'm switching over to my other camera. This is the hot air balloon bundle. It's got nice stamps and matching dies. It's got some clouds. It's got this cute, heart-shaped balloon that isn't a stamp, but you can create a heart-shaped hot air balloon. It's so cute. So lots of different things you can do with this. No wonder it's carrying over. And this is the Lighter Than Air Designer Series paper. I've already chopped up a lot of it. It is lovely paper. This backdrop paper, you get 8 sheets of every pattern. So it's a double-sided pattern, but you get 8 sheets. So that's kind of nice because sometimes you only get 4 sheets in a 6x6 pack of each pattern, and this is 8 sheets, and they're just beautiful patterns. So if you like this, don't forget this one's retiring soon. Okay, let's get started on the fold. I love this one. This one is an easy step fold. Okay, we'll start off. I'm using thick basic white here. This is 8.5 by 5.5. We'll grab our stylus tool, put this right in the corner of our Simply Scored, and we're going to score this at the 1-inch mark, the 2-inch mark, and the 5.25-inch mark. So 1, 2, 5.25. We're gonna also do, this is the back of the card base, and then we have to do this front panel here. Sorry, moving this. We're gonna do this front panel here as well. So let's score that right now while we have the scoring board out, and then we won't have to bring it in again. This little piece measures 5.5 by 2.5. And we'll pop that up at the top of the scoring board, and we're going to score this one at 1.25. Okay. And I will have a project sheet for you tomorrow. So if you are worried about catching the dimensions, I will have that tomorrow so that you have a nice little reference sheet. Okay, let's take these and score them. So this is this back fold. This is the biggest part of the fold. So we've got that one. So that one's a mountain, and this one's a valley. And then we're going to do another mountain. I'm going to bring it up like this. Okay. So we've got a big mountain and a small mountain, and the valley fold is in the center. Such an easy card. Actually, this could also just be a card as well, right? Just this part of the fold. So before we fold this piece and adhere it to our big fold here, let's go ahead before I forget, because I will forget this, and add the designer series paper in. So to make the best use out of this designer series paper, I can get 2 of these pieces out of a piece of 6 by 6. So this one is 5.25 by 3 inches. Okay, so love that, so that you can make really good use. So we're going to glue that right nested on that big panel piece. Easier to do it now. All right. Good morning, Lori, from sunny but cold Quebec. I want some of your sunshine, Lori. It has been so dreary here. I don't know, yesterday I was just so sad. I think it makes me sad too, because I know my mom did not like overcast skies. And so it I just remember that, and it makes me sad too, because I think of her, and she's no longer alive, but I think of her, and I just, it makes me sad somehow, just thinking that she also didn't like that. Okay, so now I've got a little tiny piece of the designer series paper. This one is 5.25 by 3/4 of an inch. All right, and we're just going to add that right to the front. And we want to do that now because when I got a little glue on me, right when we glue this other piece on here, we need to have the designer series paper on here first. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to get it on, to piece it on there. So you want to have that all set up. Okay. A little bent corner here. We'll straighten that out. Okay, so now we're gonna fold this piece. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to think. This piece needs to have some stamping on the bottom before we add it to the card. This, all the rest is all pieced on here with dimensionals. So if you want to stamp anything on this piece, let's do it while it's flat and not on the card. So let's go ahead and stamp real quick. We'll grab our As Your Afternoon ink pad. This was one of our new colors last year. It's a nice bright blue, a little bit brighter than balmy blue, and I am going to be using balmy blue on this card, but I wanted something that was just a little darker so we could really see these words, because the font is a little, the lines are very skinny, so using a darker color helps us see it. Okay, so I'm just dipping that into my As Your Afternoon, and I'm going to go pretty close to the bottom. Excuse me. Losing my voice here. Excuse me. All right, so there it is. Up, up and away, hooray. It's your birthday. It's about a 1/4 inch from the bottom. Put that away. Okay, now we can glue it. So you can kind of decide where you want to put this. If you want to see more of this balloon and kind of nest it in between the two balloons, you can go this way. So on my original card, I went a little bit this way. Okay, so you can decide. I actually kind of like covering up part of that heart balloon. I don't know why. I don't know why I like it here better than here. So we'll do it in the original spot, but you can play with this. You can even have it over here. You can have it in the center. I tend to like to not center things because I think it looks a little bit better, because I know when I grew up, everything should be centered, and I think skewing it in a little bit with decorating makes things look better. So let's glue this bottom piece onto here first. So this is 1 inch wide, so I don't want to go wider than 1 inch. Otherwise, I'm going to have issues with gluing my card together, and it won't be able to come apart and be the fold that it needs to be. So let's press this down and get it into place. Okay, so now this back part, just a teeny tiny portion of this back part is going to glue to the back of this. So you see how much that is. It's like maybe 1/4 inch. It's not a lot. So we're just gonna have room for just one line of glue. If you end up with too much glue, I have a little scrap piece of cardstock here. So you can just like get rid of some of it so that it's not a big blob. I always have little scraps of cardstock sitting on the top of my garbage can as I'm throwing stuff away. So I just grab one of those and then just press down on the back like that. I told you this card is easy, but a wow card. Okay, so there's the base of the card. So simple. And now we can just add the things that we want to add. And I'm sure you want to see the hot air balloon in action. So let's grab our little piece. This is a scrap piece of basic white. And we're going to start off with this stamp. Let me hold it up to the camera a little bit. That's what it looks like. We're going to use Balmy Blue. And I inked up a part of my ink pad a little bit more than the rest. I do that sometimes if I just have like a tiny stamp that needs to be inked up. And I don't want to ink up my whole pad. But then sometimes that leaves things inked unevenly. So let's go ahead and stamp this down. Okay, that is Balmy Blue. And now we're going to take Lemon Lolly, yes. Balmy Blue to me always stamps darker and then lightens up a little bit. This is a Lemon Lolly. It is one of our new yellows last year. Okay, so I'm just kind of going up and down, and then I'm going to stamp. It's, you just have to practice a little bit with lining things up. If you have trouble with your two-step stamps lining them up, grab yourself a piece of computer paper and practice. There we go. So now that's going to take a little bit to dry, and it will look a little bit different, I think, in a moment. Okay, so then we're going to take our little basket of the balloon, and we're going to use fresh freesia. Let's put up, got some ink on me. I'm gonna put this up here. All right. And then we need to die cut, and we're going to also die cut some balloons. So I'm gonna use my mini today because it's, I don't need a big length, a big width to do this. And I remind everyone, every time I use my mini, I just remind everyone about using plates with their mini. So let me turn this around. So in the instructions, it will tell you to use the number 1 plate. This plate is too thick for my machine. So there is another 3 plate. This one's actually used for embossing folders, which is a little thinner and works better with my machine. Every machine is a little tiny bit different. So you might have a tight machine, or you might have a machine that can take the number 1 plate where mine can't, but we have options. All of these plates come with your machine, so you can choose which one works better for you. Never force anything through your machine. So I have my number 3 plate down, and then I'll take a clear plate. We'll pop this on here. We'll grab our dies, and we'll need the biggest die. We'll need this die, and we're going to need the cloud dies. Come here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab some, let me grab this, some labeling and cover up tape. It's like the top of a post-it note. And this is just going to help us position the dies so they don't shift while we're running them through. So I'm just looking for a little tiny bit of white around the edge of my die, and I'm going to get it positioned, and I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to do the same for my little piece of hot air balloon here. Can I get it into place? Uh-oh, I shifted that one. You can still move them, but they're not going to move very far, so you still have to keep an eye on them. Those clouds aren't cutting out anything, so I do not need to worry about them. Just hold that. I think I could have done a better job with this one. Let me peel this off because it's actually on an angle a bit, so I want to make sure that it isn't going to shift when it crunches down. Okay. All right, that's better. Okay. Now I'm going to carefully place this on top without shifting it, and now we're going to run this through. All of those little pieces, and let's see how we did. We've got our balloon. We've got our little basket. And we've got our clouds. It's always a good idea to put your dies back. I get these magnet sheets from Stampin' Storage so I can keep my dies on here so they stay in place, and then I get the ones that fit inside the stamp case. So the way I store these is I just put this inside my stamp case so that they stay together. It's very handy. All right, then I've got the little clouds. All right, we can put that away. We can put this away. Okay. Let's get back to our card. And I'm trying to decide what we're going to put on here first. Let's put our big balloon on here first. I'm going to grab some dimensionals of different sizes. Let me flip this around. And we'll want at least 3 of these. You can put more on if you want to. And I want to have this up at the top, maybe about 1/4 of an inch from the top, and centered from side to side. Okay, then we'll take this little tiny basket and we'll put a mini dimensional on the back. I think a full dimensional might fit, but a mini dimensional is a little easier. And I'm just going to grab that and just position it right underneath. All right. The clouds are going to be glued on, not with dimensionals. So let's have a look. So this cloud right here, I'm going to put it right about here. So it's about halfway. So I'm just going to flip this over. And I'll know I just can put glue on this portion. And my glue's flowing very freely today. So I'm just going to scrape a little bit of that off. Okay, let's turn this around. And I want it kind of opposite my basket, about halfway on. This, it's nice because it creates another dimension that kind of comes off of this piece, so it just really looks nice when you do that. And this one I'm gonna do halfway. I want the balloons on different levels. Okay, and we'll put that one right about there. It's so cute, right? Okay, let's get rid of the garbage on my desk. Oops, it's off here. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. Okay, let's see. Oh, I haven't said hi to a bunch of people, but I'll get to you at the end. So now I want to just grab, I tied a little bow earlier. This is, I'll show you what this is. This is the Baker's Twine 3-color pack. This is carrying over into the new catalog. I love it. Nice, soft, pretty colors. I love Baker's Twine on cards because it's not bulky when you mail them. It flattens out so nicely. So I'll just put a little dot of glue there, and we'll put the knot right on that. Just hold it for a second. All right. And then we're going to grab some of these rainbow adhesive back dots. There's the item number down there. I also have a supply list down below. So you can grab, look at that, or go to my blog, click over to my blog, and you will also have the supply list there. And we'll just grab some of these little dots. They match this lighter than air paper perfectly. This is such a nice combo. The paper, the twine, and these dots. So just a kind of a no-brainer when you're making these cards. It really just helps to have all the right colors. And I'm just repeating what I just did in terms of the dots, but you can choose whatever dot colors that you want, and it just adds just a little bit of fun to the card, right? Oh, look at that. Like, anyone who gets this card is just gonna think, wow, you spent hours on this card, but you didn't, because it's not a hard card. It is like a very easy card, actually, right? But it has a lot of wow. Now look how much more inky my balmy blue was before. So, you know, when you ink up your ink pads, you can get different shades, right? Sometimes when I'm making thank you cards, you know, it draws a lot of ink off of the ink pad. So some of my cards will have darker stamping and some of them will have lighter stamping. I guess I also re-inked my Lemon Lolly because I think it's also a little darker. But either one looks great, right? It's just a different intensity on the card. I do think I like the balloon pops just a teeny tiny bit better now with the re-inked inked pad. So a good advisement or advice to always buy a re-inker when you buy your ink pads, so you can ink them when they get a little bit late. So I hope you liked that. It was really fun to make, and I know that you can make really beautiful cards with it. It's very easy, fun fold that has a lot of pop to it. I will have a project sheet for you tomorrow. All right, let me just say hello to everyone else that I missed. And remember, if you are new to my channel, you can subscribe to me and then hit that bell so you can get notified when I go live. If you subscribe to my email list, you will get a project sheet for this card or anything else that I do on Fridays. They are always sent out on Saturdays. And yes, you can have access to my past project sheets. In my welcome email to you, there is a link. Also in my Saturday emails, down at the bottom, there is always a banner that links to the past project sheets. If you've lost my welcome email, that's where you'll find the link to other project sheets. Okay, let's say hello to everyone who has joined me. Good morning, Joan. And I already said hello to some people, so I'm kind of halfway through my list. Joni says she has sunshine. Yay, that's what I want. Laura says she has sunshine too, but only 40 degrees here. Well, it is not very warm here. In fact, I think it was trying to snow. Those raindrops this morning looked a little white to me, and I was not impressed at all. Good morning, Judy. From overly saturated and rain-swept New Hampshire. Yeah, you and I both. You are just a little north of me. I'm in Massachusetts, and yeah, we have just had rain. I could grow. The main thing that grows in our yard is moss. It's so mossy. I'm like, what the heck, moss? All right, let's keep going. Mary says, pretty card. Have the set. Love the paper. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Karen says, another Karen says, good morning, good Friday morning, a little late, but happy you can join. I'm happy you're here too. Pat says, can you give me the size of your magnet sheets or a link? I think I'd like to store my dies the same way. Okay, let's take a look real quick. I'm going to switch. I always love questions. Don't feel you can't ask me questions. I love questions. Okay, let's have a look at my magnet sheet. So the company's called Stamp and Storage. So it is not quite 5 inches. I'm measuring. It's about 4. It's, I don't know what they would call this. 4 3/4 or maybe 4 7/8 wide, or maybe they just round up to 5 inches. And it is by 6 3/4. I'm pretty sure about 4 7/8 by 6 3/4. And that will fit. Let's show you. Oh, you know the other thing I do? Sometimes I stamp extra pieces while I'm experimenting, and I don't use them on my cards. And I end up sometimes with, once I'm done with an embellishment, I end up with these extra plastic bags. So I keep them for use. And I if I have a bunch of these little pieces, I just put them in these little cellophane bags, and they just kind of stay tucked into there. Next time I'm experimenting, I already have a few pieces to play with. So then this just goes in here. I throw this on top, and then voila. It's nice and contained, and really, I love it. So yeah, that hopefully will help. And Pat, if you cannot find them in the store, just let me know, and I will email you the exact link so that you know what you're getting. But I do love these. Some of them, some dies will not fit on the smaller sheets. I do actually also have the larger sheets. And if it's a standalone die, I keep that over by my die cutting station. Stamp and Storage also sells these little wooden boxes. All right, I'm getting up, moving over. Let's see. Okay, so this is the little wooden storage box. And they have little dividers. And sometimes, like, we have standalone dies. This is the mini alphabet dies. This one will become a standalone die. It did have a stamp set, but the stamp set's retiring soon. So this is the Countryside Corner dies. So I have these on, these are the smaller sheets, but then some of them, like they don't match, they don't have a matching stamp set. So then I use these ones. So this is the Stylish Shapes dies. So I have some of these in this size as well. Let me just pop over here. So the bigger size, this one does not fit in here, but I use them for my bigger die sets. And this one measures 6 3/4 inches across by 6 3/4 by 6. So this is the other size I use. I don't use as many of these anymore. And in fact, I did start out putting all my dies on here and they were separated from my stamp sets, but I find that it's much more useful for me to have them in the bundle if they fit. Sometimes I might need 2 sheets. Like if there's a lot of dies, even 2 sheets of this size will fit inside of your stamp set case, so you can do that. If it's a really large die though, it might not fit in here. So I do have some that are this size, 6 3/4 by 6, that just kind of sit in my little box right here, right by my die cutting station. I like this one. Let me put my face back on here. I like this one because it's got like an angled front to it, so it's easy when you're flipping the dies forward to find the dies that you're looking for. It's just a nice little way to store your dies. They stay in place and they don't shift around. I don't tend to lose them. All right. That was a long answer, but I love getting questions. All right. Karen says, very cute card. Joan says, fun card. Thanks for the easy directions. Kathy says, thanks. Mary says, love this card. Laura says, I don't have this hot air balloon set, but I do have their old one. I must try using that set. Absolutely. Adapt it. I think if it's the old one, there was a matching punch to it, so it might be a teeny tiny bit smaller. So if that's the case, you might be able to squeeze 2 hot air balloons on here, or 3 if it's a smaller one, and you can even have them coming off the edge. You don't have to keep them all on this panel. Like you can have them coming off the edge just a teeny tiny bit, like I did for those clouds. So have fun, experiment. All right, Joan says she has snow on the ground, had 13 inches of snow Sunday through Monday. Oh, that is not fun. It's not fun to get snow once it's past the official spring equinox, right? We want to make sure that we don't have snow past that, because it makes us all so sad. So, well, some people love snow, and that's fine. I can handle overcast skies, but when it's raining on top of that, it messes up my whole walk schedule. And I just want to get out in the fresh air and just walk, and it makes my body feel so much better. Okay, Karen says, magnet sheets are great. I use them all the time and keep them in their storage boxes for easy use. Yeah, they're just a great little addition for storage purposes. So I'm glad that you all joined me today. Thank you so much for making my video so much better just by being here. I'll have a project sheet for you tomorrow. I'm wishing you all a happy Easter on Sunday. And I will be back with my regular schedule next week. And then the following week, I will be up in Canada for a week and a half. My mom's condo is, we are getting it ready for sale. So I'm going up for a week and a half to take care of that and make sure we have everything cleared out that needs to be cleared out before we put it on the market. So, but I'm trying very hard to work ahead and drop videos during the time that I'm gone. So, there'll be recorded videos, but at least, you'll have something. So next week is normal as scheduled, but the following week you'll notice that I will be doing recorded videos for a little bit. All right, everyone, happy Easter, and I'll see you next week. Take care.